hit some anytime goal scorers as well as safe shots on goal for some of these goalies. Give me both teams to score in the first period. That's coming in at plus 185 compared to the over 1.5 that is at minus 120. Okay, you guys ready? Let's make some frickin' money. It's time for Bucket with Jo. Good morning, everyone. We've made it. It is a Friday, and it's time for Bucket with Jo over here on SportsGrid TV on X as well as YouTube. I hope you guys are having a fantastic start to your Friday, and I know Winnipeg Jet fans are, as the Winnipeg Jets able to hold on, extend the series to another game, getting the win last night, getting the shutout win even for Connor Hellebuyck 4-0. So great performance out of the Winnipeg Jets last night. Great performance out of the Carolina Hurricanes, but not the way I wanted that series to go. Carolina did close out the series last night versus the Washington Capitals, getting that win. 4 wins for the Carolina Hurricanes. They are advancing to the Eastern Conference, and the winner of the series tonight will be facing them. So let's jump into tonight's series. Congratulations again to Carolina beating Washington. Not the way I expected that series to go. I was really hoping, and my money was on the Washington Capitals to be able to get things done, but just wasn't their series to take. 3-1 win for Carolina, and again, Winnipeg winning last night 4-0. Outstanding performance for the Winnipeg Jets. So let's look at today's action out there as I welcome all of you guys in. Matt, thank you for being here. Kev, thank you for being here as well. Let's make some freaking money on this Friday. Talking about extending series. Hope you guys rode with me with the Denver Nuggets last night to extend that series with OKC. But talking the ice, you guys, we have Caps got me. Yeah, the Caps got me too. I thought the Caps would get things done. So tonight we have the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Florida Panthers. Florida holding the lead in this series 3-2. They're looking to close it out tonight, and the books are looking for them to do so as well. They're minus 225 here at home. That's a disgusting price. The puck line minus 1.5 is plus 116. You're starting to see the value dropping on that. And then we got a total of 5.5. This total of 5.5, I really am cautious with, because we look at the over 5.5, it's minus 115, the under minus 105. If Florida is up in this one, Toronto's going to pull goaltending. So you know that it has every possibility of going over, but Florida's going to look to lock down and hold this one to the under. We're going to break down the team totals here. Let's jump into this game and what I am liking. So I did bet Florida take the series, and this was earlier in as we went into the playoffs, into this series at Florida. I came back in on Florida to take the series when they were plus 175 before game 4. So what we've seen in these games, we saw Toronto win the first 2 at home, Florida win the next 2 at home, then Florida take it back to Toronto and win that last game. So in game 5, they won 6-1. Everyone on the team got a point except for like 3 or 4 guys. The depth scoring of the Florida Panthers has been incredible. I believe we got 8 guys with at least 8 points in the postseason here for the Florida Panthers, with Sam Reinhart leading the way with 10 points in the postseason. So we've got the depth of the Florida Panthers really coming to play. This defense is locking down. And you look at Bobrovsky between the pipes, and he's been absolutely stellar between the pipes, especially in the last 3 games. Really impressed with what we've seen out of him. Now, Anthony Stolarz didn't make the trip to Florida. It is Matt Murray backing up Joseph Woll. So if Woll gets hurt, Matt Murray is going to be coming in here. Another reason I am very cautious with that total to the under. When we look at game 4 with what we saw, Toronto still controlled those faceoffs. That was game 4. Game 5, we saw the Florida Panthers start controlling those faceoffs, 52.5%, whereas in game 4, Toronto controlled 63.5%. So that was a great shift for the Florida Panthers. That's something we hadn't seen in the first 4 games, was them being able to control that faceoff. So they controlled the faceoff in the last game. They converted 1 of their 4 power play opportunities. They were so physical, 54 hits and 32 shots on goal. When we look at Toronto, they went 0-3 on the power play, unable to convert, 47 hits, 23 shots on goal. it was interesting to see those block shots. The block shot market, Toronto blocked 24 of Florida's shots, and we saw only 9 blocked there for the Florida Panthers. So defensively, Toronto was putting their bodies in front of that puck. I just think this team won't be able to win here in Florida. I don't see it happening. Now, if someone is helping them get the win tonight, it would be Matthew Knies. I would look at Matthew Knies here for the Toronto Maple Leafs for his goal tonight. It's plus 290. We rode with him in the last game. He wasn't able to get it. He did have 3 shots on goal. Austin Matthews had 6 shots on goal. So we keep talking about how quiet he's been in the postseason. He was firing. McMahon had 3 shots on goal, and Nylander had 6 shots on goal as well. So those playmakers were trying to get something done, but Bobrovsky absolutely standing on his head in that last game. He faced 32 shots, and we saw in that game only 1 goal out of the Toronto Maple Leafs. So I'm expecting a very similar game here. Toronto peppering Bobrovsky, Toronto getting those block shots, giving Wall the support. But at the end of the day, Florida's still getting things done. I'll take the Leafs team total again, under 2.5. And yes, we got to lay the juice today at minus 144. But I think it's worth that sort of juice. You guys know that is like my limit. If you can get this as a live number, if Toronto scores in that first period, I would live bet it as well. The Panthers, I think, win this 4-2. So with the 4-2 win, you can look at the Panthers team total over 3.5, over 3.5 goals here for the Florida Panthers, which I think they're going to be able to get on Joseph Wall. If this was Anthony Stolarz, maybe not, but Florida with the last change at home, over 3.5, that's your best value in this game for them to score 4 goals. Now, you do have the concern it comes by an empty netter, and I think that 4th goal is by an empty netter, as this team loves to get up and then just play that defensive hockey and hold on to their lead. But you look at that last game, 6 goals in the last game. I do expect them to get at least 4 in this. So over 3.5 goals at plus 102. I think you can also look at the Panthers on the puck line. Not as much value as I would have liked as the game ticks on. If we see that first period quiet for goals, we're going to get better value on that puck line and better value on the Florida Panthers as things kind of move a little bit as the lines do shift. So I'll take the puck line going in though, minus 1.5 at plus 118. I'll take the over 3.5 goals at plus 102. For Florida, and then I will look at taking the Leafs under 2.5. I just don't see them scoring 3 in this one. When we look at playmakers out there for the Florida Panthers, I really hope you guys rode with me with Brad Marchand coming into this matchup for 5+ points and 7+. Now, he has 5 points in the series. We got basically even money for 5+ points. I need a couple more out of him, especially if they're finishing this one off tonight. I do think Brad gets a goal. If you didn't bet the series bet of 5+ and 7+, take Brad for the goal at plus 275. If you did, I don't know if I'd take it, right? Because we've already got so much money invested in Brad right now. I do think Sam Reinhart is definitely worth a look. He's had 4 points in the series, 10 in the postseason. Sam Bennett has just been a thorn in the side here of the Toronto Maple Leafs as well. 1 goal, 4 points in this series. And then I want to look at Carter Verhaeghe. Verhaeghe is one of the players in the last game when everyone was getting a point that didn't. So he was one of the 3 or 4 players that didn't get a point out there on the ice in that last game. For Verhaeghe to score a goal in this one is coming in at plus 220. He's already got 2 goals in the series, and I do think he can come out and score on Joseph Wall. So I will take Verhaeghe for the goal. I'll look at Sam Reinhart and Sam Bennett for a point parlayed together. Now, Matthew Tkachuk yet to get a goal in this series as well. I do think is worth a sprinkle. He had an assist in the last game. 4 assists in the series. So 0 goals, but 4 assists. Matthew Tkachuk, I'm waiting for that big explosive play out of him that does get him the goal. And I could see it happening tonight, especially if Florida closes it out. So give me a half a unit on Matthew Tkachuk for the goal. Give me a full unit on Verhaeghe, and give me the other half unit on Bennett and Reinhart parlayed together for a point. And then if you don't have Brad in the series bet, take Brad for the anytime goal. On the other side for Toronto, it's just Matthew Knies. Matthew Knies for a goal at plus 290. Now, I know Nylander and Austin Matthews, with both of them putting 6 shots on goal in that last game, they had last change at home. I just think looking at them for their goals, looking at them for their points, just not enough value. Tavares struggled in the last game, only 2 shots on goal. He was unable to record any points out there. We did see Domi for an assist. Robertson got the only goal in that last game. So it was an interesting one here for Toronto in the last, and I just don't think they have it left in them. But this is Bailey. I'm so sorry. I'm going against your Toronto Maple Leafs. The Toronto Maple Leafs on that money line, if you think this is going to go 2-7, has so much great value. Matthews goal, Marner assist, book it. Yeah, I wish you the best. I really do. I hate when my bets are against someone and their team for sure. Kristen, let's have a day. Let's have a freaking day out there as well. Leafs have not lost 4 games in a row since 2019. That is so true. They haven't done this. So 3 in a row, we've seen it happen. It happened once in the season, right? Once in the regular season, they lost 3 in a row. It's a good spot to look at them to bounce back. I just think Florida has what it takes. But if you like Toronto, bet them straight up on the money line. Don't just take the +1.5. I think if they win it big. Got to go with Lundell, Brad Marchand for the point props. Again, the only thing that's come through for me in the second round. Yeah, right? They've been showing up each and every time. Lundell has been great. Lundell was able to get an assist in the last game. And let's go Glad the Ripper. So it's going to be a great game. One thing to look at, Ekblad, if you want to look at him, 5 points in the postseason. He did have 6 shots in the last game. He did have a goal and an assist. So the momentum he's rolling in with for Florida should be great. So just to recap, you guys, short show today. I'm going to tell you, though, before we get into this recap, right now, lines are moving on Winnipeg. The Winnipeg Jets and the Dallas Stars, game number 6 tomorrow. We're going to game 7, you guys. I do think Winnipeg pulls off that road win that they've been dying to get. Winnipeg at +126 right now. I did see them at +132 last night. We're starting to see money coming in on the Winnipeg Jets. If you like Winnipeg and you agree with me, bet them now before this moves. I do think tomorrow before puck drop, we're going to be a +115, +110 bet here for the Winnipeg Jets. I do think they have every ability to get the win. So if you like Dallas, wait. I do think hold off on the Dallas Stars. We will see money coming in on Winnipeg to continue over the next 24 hours, and then you'll be able to get a better price on Dallas. But right now, I'm in on Winnipeg. I do think Hellebuck, with how he played in that 4th game in Dallas, he looks stronger than we've seen him on the road all the postseason. And I know they still lost, but then he got a shutout in the last game. He got a shutout in 2 shutouts at home in this series, right? So I'm looking for Connor Hellebuck to be the Connor Hellebuck we need. Remember, this is a team that also won the most road games out there on the season. This isn't a team that struggled all season with inconsistencies like Carolina. This is a team that was able to show up. So right now it's +128 on the Winnipeg Jets. You got a total of 5.5, the under 5.5 -118. I am cautious with that because of the empty netter. But if you also like Winnipeg, I'm just going to see if they have anything for a team total. And they don't. I won't be able to handle overtime. Scott Wetzel and myself should be live tomorrow. We'll be going over this game and everything that we're liking in the different situations. But we will do Pocket with Joe again tomorrow for sure. So recap of today, the Toronto Maple Leafs versus the Florida Panthers. Give me here the Panthers to win this in a 4-2 style game. So the Panthers on the puck line, -1.5 at +118, over 3.5 goals at +102, and the Leafs team total under 2.5 at -144. I'll look at Matthew Knies for the anytime goal for the Toronto Maple Leafs at +290. I do think you keep your eye on Matthews and Nylander. You're just not getting the value for both of these players out there. They both had 6 shots on goal. Very quiet. Travaris I'd look at before I looked at those guys. When we look at Florida, the depth is completely there for this team. All of these lines have been putting those points up on the board. Sam Bennett and Sam Reinhart, half a unit each for a point. So are parlayed together. So half a unit for a point each parlayed together. And then I'll put the other half a unit on Sam Reinhart for a goal tonight. And then I'm going to look at Verhaeghe for a goal for a full unit. So that is where I'm going. I do think Matthew Tkachuk definitely worth a look as well. I do think I'll put him in for a goal. I think I'll do Verhaeghe, Matthew Tkachuk, Sam Reinhart, Sam Bennett, half a unit for their points parlayed. And then, yeah, and if you didn't take Brad in the series, take Brad for the goal at +275. But that is it for today. I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Can anyone back Hellebuck on the road? Facts don't lie. Yeah, the facts don't lie, but you start to look at the improvements he's had out there. And I do think you can back Connor Hellebuck tomorrow. Thank you, Glad the Ripper. Let's just look quickly at the goalie props tonight. One thing I haven't gone over as of yet, you guys. So the goalie props we're looking at right now, Bobrovsky, 22.5 is his number. I'm going to take Bobrovsky over 22.5 save shots on goal. I think this is a fantastic bet. I know that the Florida Panthers are going to look to lock down. Toronto has to stop playing so pretty. They have to crash the net and they have to fire this puck. So I think Bobrovsky over is a great way to go. When we look at Joseph Woll, his numbers coming in at 26.5 minus 122 to the over. You would hope in this situation that Joseph Woll would be able to go over this number. I just don't trust it. I'll stay off Woll. I'll look at Bobrovsky over 22.5. Save shots on goal tonight at minus 102 as well, you guys. I'm going to stay off the first period, the second period, but you guys know my philosophy. First period goes over, take the live bet on the second period under and vice versa, because I do think it plays out very much this way in the playoffs. But you guys, I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you, Joe, for being here as well. Let's make some freaking money. I will be back tomorrow, noon Eastern, for another Puck It with Joe, but do make sure you stay tuned for today's Cup of Joe. You guys don't want to miss out. Yesterday, we did ride with the Denver Nuggets straight up for that beautiful plus money on the money line, so hopefully some of you guys tailed. Let's make some more freaking plus money today. I'll see you back here tomorrow. Hit some anytime goal scorers as well as save shots on goal for some of these goalies.